over here is how does an exchange that there is a TLS implementation out there, and how does an exchange of information, or how is a TLS session established, is what we're talking about. So in a typical TLS session, as you can see, so I will explain this in a very base sense first, and then I will go into the in-depth and details. So the first thing is this. So there is a TLS client, which is a piece of code or a software. There's a TLS server, which is again a daemon or a server or a script. It could be anything which is residing on the server itself. And how does the communication happen? Is that the TLS client will first send a hello to the server. The server responds, and along with that, it sends some information. We'll be covering those information. First, let me get you through the whole cycle, and then I'll cover again in a little bit of detail. So first, what we are saying is that the client says a client hello to the TLS server with some information about what it has to offer. The server then responds back with a server hello, and then it responses and picks and chooses a couple of parameters here and there from what the client has in itself shared with the server, and it shows its own identity back to the client. Now the client and the server certificate is part of the server hello, the response. Now at the third step you see over here, the client is now verifying the server certificate. After it has verified that yes, this is in fact the kind of server I want to communicate with, what I am saying is the client then starts the process of key exchange. Once the key is exchanged, along with initiating the key exchange, the client also sends its certificate for the server to verify that the client is in fact the client. Now as the sixth step, the TLS server obtains the client certificate. It verifies the client certificate, and after this verification has happened, the key has been exchanged. The client says this transaction is, the connection is established. It says finished. The server says finished, and then the TLS session has been established. And now they can exchange encrypted messages among themselves. Okay, so is that clear? I hope the very from at a basic exchange level, this is a little understandable by folks.
Yeah.
Now let me dive this a little deeper into this. I hope the image is visible properly.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So now what happens? Now bear with me, and if there is any doubt, will address that. So the client sends a client hello. Now what does it send with the client hello is, it also tells the list of ciphers or the algorithms that that the client has, which compression methods do I support as a client, my ID, my version number, all of those information along with it, and this I send to the server. Now the server knows who you has your IDs, version numbers, all of those information. It has a list of what cipher suits you are supported by you. Now what happens when server says hello? The server responds with a hello. The server's response contains the cipher suit that it has chosen from the list that has been provided by the client. So it chooses the kind of cipher that it wants to communicate with, the session ID and version numbers, server information, and also its digital certificate. Now, if at this point server also wishes for the client to share its certificate at some point later on, which is the authentication part of the cryptography, it also sends a certificate request to the client, and it also mentions the acceptable certificate authorities. So certificate authority is an entity that generates digital certificates. They are deemed recognizable in the industry to provide you with a signed certificate, and a certificate issued by a certificate authority is supposed to be trustable. Again, The server sends back a hello. Along with that, it will first give its information. Along with the server's information, it will tell you what kind of cipher suit I am okay with to use for the communication. If I also do want you to share your certificate with me for your authentication, I will also send a certificate request to you, and along with that, I will give you a list of supported by the acceptable certificate authorities. This is step 2. Now in step 3, the client verifies the digital certificate through the process. You saw the digital verification. Now the client sends the random byte string. Okay, let's forget about this. Now what I am saying at this point is that the client in itself now says that should, so that's why the point, the 5 here and the 6 here are dotted to say that if this happens, the 5th and 6th step happens only if the server wishes to verify the client certificate and uses to enforce client authentication. So should that happen, the both the server will verify the identity of the client. After it has verified, there will be the key exchange happens between the server and the client, in the sense that the so the key exchange is the key mechanism which is in place, which we talked about in the past, is where Trisha's question gets answered, is that that is where you are using the key exchange. The secure method of exchanging key is where the key exchange happens, and after the key has been exchanged, the client sends a finish and the server sends a finish, and then you have a encryption communication, encrypted communication that is established.
Akshay,
Yeah.
just a little bit considerate of the time. Are the remaining slides text heavy, or we'll be able to wrap it up sooner? If not, we can maybe do a follow-up session tomorrow, because I think there are a lot of questions which we have to answer as well. So just asking you, because I haven't seen the slides yet.
Yeah, so okay, I'll try to walk through them quickly because I'm on the 17th one now and there are 21. So there aren't much, 20 slides to be precise. So let me walk through them quickly now so that